being here, they end up being here. But I do have another meeting right after this as well. So we're just gonna go over a couple simple things, right? Just get everyone kind of ready for the week and everything. Most people are gonna view this, from the video recording because they did let me know that they wouldn't be able to be here in the first place. But some contracts are moving slower than others. That's normal. It's an insurance business at the end of the day. We can do everything that we can to push ours through, which Rob, all yours should be through by now. But yeah, so essentially, at the end of the day, when it gets to carrier, we can do our best to kind of talk with them. That's why I really emphasize in training, like, hey, call the carriers, just let them know, kind of make sure that they know your name. It's going to be really important. And so that's going to be a big thing for kind of on their end. They should be pushing everything through though. Naturally, it was the holidays, so everything did take a little bit longer. But yeah, so some contracts are moving slower than others. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. And then a quick congratulations to those who have already closed this week. I believe, let me see, let me take a look. I think it was a Raz Yamir, and then I know Zakai has something that he needs to submit as well. And then I know Richard Spires has some deals to submit as well. And then we'll get through that today. So to the pretty much everybody who's actually has access to, write up clients has been able to write up clients so far, which is pretty good. And then most people should have at least one contract back by now, so you can begin writing. Josh, you are one of those people. You should have one at least American Home Life back. Good. Rob Roulette too. Let me know what you have back. We'll kind of go over everything kind of after the meeting too, because I want to make sure that you're able to write business too. And then if someone doesn't have anything, reach out to me today so I can fix it, or at least flag you on our end. So then we know to push everything through and at least talk to carrier. And if we can get that moved faster, then it's a success. So first closes, I was gonna have people share. Roz told me that he wasn't gonna be able to make it, so he's gonna send a text in the group me, and then same as Ymir too. He's gonna also send a text in the group me, just about maybe some stuff that he learned regarding maybe application process, closing process, etc. Obviously, I know Roz closed warm market, so that's what he told me. So naturally, he's not gonna have a bunch of. I mean, who knows? Sometimes I know I haven't closed a lot of personal network, but whenever I do, it definitely feels like a normal close to me. I don't really have family that come to me and they're like, oh yeah, and let me make this easy on you. I want life insurance. It's usually a kind of like a sale. So maybe he could drop some info on that. But in general, I just want us to get used to every morning meeting. We'll have just some closes. People from the week that closed maybe did well. They're going to speak for a little bit, kind of chop it up about what worked for them, all that good stuff. So that's what we'll do from now on. And then as far as contracting, pretty much everyone should have at least one active carrier. And if you have one active carrier, you can start writing business. When I started, I was at 50% comp and I only had Aflac, and I was running up Aflac, man. They loved me. So if you have one carrier, no excuses. You can start writing business for sure. And then if you don't have at least one, message me so I can push it through. The beauty of having one, it tells us at our end that, okay, the carriers are at least doing their jobs, even if they're going a little bit slower, which sometimes carriers do. It's not really accurate. It's just kind of person to person. It depends. At least pretty much everyone should have one carrier. And if you do have one carrier, that means number one, you submitted everything correctly and everything else is going to come back. And number two, you can start writing business. And then if not, once again, message me so I can push it through. Some carriers are slower, right? That's completely normal. And then if you're not dialing yet, it's because you don't have, and if it's because you don't have a contract, then tell me. Well, matter of fact, tell me in general, if you're not dialing yet, why you're not. And then dialer expectations. If you have at least one active contract, you should be live on the dialer. You should be dialing already. I know, like I said, we never push for warm market. There was a lot of people that are like personal network. A lot of people, this training group around has a lot of personal network that they need to write up, which is fine. I'm not going to tell you not to. But, if you have one active contract, you can reach out to those people, or, you could be dialing. So make sure you're getting that done. Stay locked in during your call blocks. Really do set call blocks for yourself this week. It's going to be the easiest thing to keep you kind of dialed in and then give you the best results at the end of the week for sure. The clients that set specific call blocks for themselves and stick to it have a night and day like have night and day results at the end of the week compared to the ones that didn't stick to theirs. It's consistent pretty much every time. So make sure that you're sticking to that. Don't do yourself the disservice of kind of going on it for 30 minutes, maybe an hour here. Really set time. Okay, I'm gonna be on it for 3.5, 4 hours for this time. I'm not gonna get up. I'm gonna dial. I'm gonna lock in some of these clients. Beautiful. So try and get that done. And then if the dialer does glitch for whatever reason, which they don't, but I don't want everyone to think it's like the end of the world if it does, refresh it, reconnect, and then go active. And then, if you need to, you can call that client back manually. And then if there's anything blocking you from dialing, please let me know, right? So I can fix it. Thinkific. I created a Thinkific as well. It took me a while to set up, but it's now live. So there's like script breakdowns. I mean, you guys see it. Dialer setup, workflow lessons, qualification plus pricing, application walkthroughs, etc. If you ever need like a little refresher, go in there, take a look. I'll send the link into the group me afterwards. So it's pretty cool. Take a look at it. And then use it whenever you need a refresher, whatsoever. Obviously, reach out to me, too, if you need help with something. Call or review. I'm always here. But, if you just need, like, a little refresher, like, what's most important? Downtones and cadence, right? You can always go back and kind of take a look at that. And then the weekly goals, you should be closing, three deals minimum. That should be, like, your weekly goal. If you set that, even if you happen to go under it, it is what it is. But you should be closing minimum 3 closes. The reason I say that is because everyone's goals are all over the place, right? Like I said, some people are coming to me in this group that are like, I want to make 20K a month as soon as possible. And then some people told me I want to make 5K a month. That's what I want to do. 3 closes a week is easily going to get you there, right? Now, the people that are on the other hand that are telling me like, hey, I want to make 20K plus a month, 3 deals is not going to cut it for you whatsoever. So, you have to kind of figure out your goals and then how to set up your call blocks accordingly to what your goals are so we can, achieve those as soon as possible. And then every single goal, no matter how big or small, is achievable with the real dialer, with real dialer time and following the script and following the things that you learned in training. It's literally the recipe to success. You're going to do well if you follow those things, hands down. So make sure that we're following, everything that we learned, make sure that we're getting knowledgeable on the script, and then, make sure that we're achieving our goals because they're completely doable. The best thing about life insurance is there's no, the sky's the limit, and on, there's no really limit to how much you can make. There's no cap. It's completely uncapped. It's completely commission based, which is why I love it so much. Depending on, I've seen some agents, they make 20K a month. I know some agents that strictly write IULs and are absolutely insane and mastered their craft, and they're making millions of dollars a year off of being an agent. It is completely possible, completely doable. It's not easy, but there's no cap to this industry. So it just depends on how well you want to, how well you believe in yourself, how much you're willing to push through and never give up, and then obviously just keep perfecting your craft. If you can dedicate your time to that and you can dedicate everything to that, you're gonna do very well. And then weekly, obviously at the end of the day, also having more contracts pushed through. On my end, that's the weekly goal. I want you guys to be able to be writing more business. Even those that don't have their carriers already, I want everyone to be able to write more business. Let me see. And then if contracting carrier logins or dialer issues pop up, reach out to me immediately. You guys already know. If anything is stopping you from producing, I need to know as soon as possible because you guys should be making money, right? If that's the goal, is to having you produce. And obviously it's not a very good look on me if I trained up a bunch of people and obviously they can't write business. So make sure that we're all producing, all that good stuff. And then if there's anything stopping you, please let me know because I'll be able to help you out. This isn't an agency where you have to send out an email and then wait for a week-long response. You can shoot me a text. You shoot me a text and I'll do my best to figure it out. I know Rob, me and you've been in contact because there's some kind of discrepancies with your contracts. So literally just reach out and I'm going to do everything I can in my power to, push contracts along, help you out. I did a call review with both Ymir and Araz, which, definitely helped with the application process, in my opinion. Made everything go by pretty smooth. And, I'm looking forward to see who else can close this week, with that type of assistance. It definitely helps. I had hands-on support, and that's what I'm going to give you guys every day of the week. And then closing in general. I just want to close this out. These Monday morning meetings don't need to be super long. Handle contracting, get on the dialer if you have an active carrier, be dialing, make yourself money. and then use Thinkific as your foundation. And then let's just have a really strong week. Let's have a good week. There's nothing stopping us from having the best week we've ever had, And then also I wanted to add in questions. If anyone here has any questions, let me know. And then if you're watching, obviously, the meeting video, just shoot me a text or you can chat in the group me. Just reach out. But does anyone in here have any specific questions whatsoever? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. I think it was pretty straightforward. A lot of our Monday morning meetings, some of them are going to be longer, some of them are going to be shorter. You can imagine they're going to go a little bit longer depending on how many people have closed, who we're hearing from, etc. But nevertheless, pretty straightforward. Let's just, we establish our goals. Let's get 3 closes a week minimum, and then let's just go from there. So if you guys need anything from me, feel free, reach out, shoot me a text, call me. But yeah, let's have a really strong week. If you need anything from me, feel free to reach out.